We got a lot going on Sunday night here. We got the Oscars. We got Team USA against Team Mexico. We have Jeff's Northwestern Wildcats in the NCAA tournament, something that we don't say very often. Oh, and we have our 2023 draft targets all coming up next. Happy Sunday night, everybody. Welcome to the RotoWire Fantasy Baseball Podcast, sponsored by Fantrax, the most customizable free commission service in fantasy sports, and also by Underdog Fantasy, home of the biggest best ball contest in the industry. It is Sunday night, March 12th. We are getting really close to a big major draft season here. I am Scott Jenstad, joined as always on Sunday nights by Jeff Erickson. If you could please rate and review the podcast, we do certainly appreciate that at any point. Jeff, happy Sunday night to you. Congrats to Northwestern being in the tournament. What's that, twice in 4 years, which is more than it was in like 50 years before that, right?
Twice in 6 years and twice in forever, for that matter.
6 years ago that you
2017.
went? God, it seems a lot more recent than that.
I know, doesn't it?
It really does. Chris Collins has been there for a while, but no.
Yeah, it's about 8 or 9 years, I think.
Damn.
Yeah, or maybe it's even longer. I don't know. I mean that he's been there. I think it was 2017. I'm pretty sure it was 2017.
You went. You would know way better than I would. So yeah.
I'm bad with years.
I'm bad with anything dates that is not in the 1980s. I'm really good with like telling you everything that happened then, and then it kind of a blur after that.
Yeah, you got quizzed on it, so then you had to know.
I've been quizzed out many times, so I can tell you all the winners of like World Series and Super Bowl. But then I get to like 2000, I'm like, oh, I have no idea. Patriots is my standard guess, but
that's okay.
So we're here to talk about 2023 draft targets. We're going to kind of do what we did last week, except the opposite. Last week we did fade. We went like each position. We'll go position by position here. Kind of talk about some guys that we are targeting in drafts. Giving away some of our secrets here. So if you're in a league with us, make sure that you ignore this podcast for a while, at least for another couple of weeks, and then you can take it up again. But other than that, we'll talk about some of that. But just some news and notes first. Jeff, I want to ask you first about Chris Sale. 3 scoreless innings with 5 strikeouts on Saturday. I can already feel the helium filling up Chris Sale at the moment. A lot of people are talking on Twitter. He's going to be a top 100 pick. He's going to be higher than that. How back in are you with Chris Sale with him looking really good in spring so far?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Should I be?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it just, who knows? I mean, if he's healthy, yeah, but if it's not, I mean, there's no way for us to know. It's just, I mean, he's thrown 47 innings the last 3 years. He has not really pitched since 2019 for real. He made 9 starts in 2021. He was good in those starts. He was bad in 2019. But looks good. He's 33 now. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit back in. I like the the kind of Tommy John, what do they call it? The period right after that, the honeymoon period.
Yeah.
Right after Tommy John, he came back a little bit last year and threw 5 2/3, so kind of jumped back in a little bit. I mean, he's looking good. I don't think I think probably someone's gonna like him more than me, but I'm certainly not fading him right now.
Yeah. How is the I'm curious to see if the velocity is maintained.
Yeah.
Like it was 95 today. I think he peaked at 96. His average was in the 94s last year, but last year, whatever. I mean, what does that even mean? He threw he threw 5 2/3 innings. So
yeah. It means literally zero. I don't even care. I care that he was back and was able to get up. So that way we know that he's kind of full go now.
Yeah. And it's all about whether he can maintain the velocity. It really is that.
I mean, his high velocity ever was in 2010, 96. He's never been above 96. So last year's 94.5. The 2019, he was down to low 93s. So maybe that's a good sign. The velocity is a little bit back. I think command will be an issue. We see that coming off Tommy John a lot, but I don't know. He's one of those guys that super high upside if he's close to back to normal.
Yeah, I think so too. And sorry, I got distracted by the whole fans behind doing the K signal after Goldschmidt struck out. I'm watching USA Mexico right now, and it's a decidedly partisan Mexico crowd right now. It's like it's same as in soccer. But with Sale, I mean, last year it was the stress fracture in his rib cage. It wasn't the Tommy John, so we never really got that Tommy John year. And then we got the bicycle accident, and he's hanging out with Madison Bumgarner and all that. So.
We had a question about what is the Tommy John honeymoon period refer to? It just refers to the fact that right after your tendons are really, really strong and really, really good. You're not likely to get hurt that again, at least for a while.
Yep. So Matt Leahy says a win inside the top 100 in his current main qualifier.
I don't think he's going outside the top 100 anymore after yesterday. I think you find a draft outside the top 100, that'll be a rarity to start from now on.
Yep.
Unless, of course, if he has some sort of setback or something happens, but as long as he looks okay, I think we're talking about a 5th, 6th round pick somewhere in there. And I think that
I'm not paying that price.
Yeah, we may get some top 75s, that sort of thing. I don't think I'm paying the price either. I don't think it's a crazy price, but they're just probably other pitchers, other players in those range that I just prefer to take instead.
Yeah, I mean, well, we can play this. We'll even count backwards from from 90. So Luis Severino or Sale, who are you going with there?
Severino.
Robbie Ray or Sale?
Sale.
Kirby. I'm taking. We're getting colder, not warmer here. Kirby or Sale?
Kirby.
Yeah, easy for me. Kirby there. Joe Musgrove. We'll go the other direction. Musgrove or Sale? We know Musgrove could miss only one start. Things have been good on him lately. The news on his rehab is going well.
Super close. If you're making me pick, Sale.
Okay. Hunter Green or Sale?
Sale.
Yeah, me too. Blake Snell.
Snell.
Webb. Gilbert. I know not Gilbert. You're already faded.
Not Gilbert. Webb's pretty close. Probably Sale.
I don't really love Webb.
I don't love Webb either. That one's pretty close for me.
Kershaw or Sale?
Kershaw.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me too.
So I think we just answered we're probably not getting them.
Yeah, probably not.
Pitching.
Not if it's going sub 100. Yeah, that's for sure.
I think it's not liking him. It's just a lot of pitchers in that range I do like and I feel a little more comfortable with. I mean, Kershaw's scary, but I think that we know the innings will be short, but I think we'll know they'll be really good too. I mean, it's a back issue. It's not going away, but I think that they'll be really good.
For sure.
Yeah. So real quick notes before we do get to our targets. Jordan Walker, speaking of helium, the helium guy this spring, left Saturday with a strained right shoulder. He said today it's no big deal. He was going to take some batting practice today. Do you think that, say he plays Tuesday. I assume this doesn't slow down the hype, right?
No, unless he's clearly affected by it.
Yeah. And obviously if he's back Tuesday, it won't affect his chances to make the team. Do you think he's going to make the team by this point?
I think yes.
I do too.
But yeah, you can still get him at a quasi-affordable price right now. Second that they announce that he's made the team, forget about it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go sky high. And in the main event, there's gonna be someone that's gonna love Jordan Walker. Jacob deGrom throwing a minor league game on the backfields on Monday. Jeff, can you go out there and scout that one for us real quick?
I trust that we'll have dutiful sources that will be watching it for us there. And
yeah, I assume there'll be someone with a cell phone camera out there taping some of that stuff, right?
He's hitting 100. He's hitting 107. What if no?
Yeah. Crazy thing is that if he's 102, we'll be like, oh, that sounds about right.
He's already starting to climb up, though.
Yeah. If he makes, what's the 12th main events, like the 26th or so, is there? No, 25th. So he makes 2 starts Monday, Friday, and next Wednesday. Dude, he's going pick 19 or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yordan Alvarez has swung a bat. Jeff, we have official confirmation. He has swung a bat. He does some baseball activity. Took some soft toss Sunday and felt good. Do you feel better about your Yordan Alvarez shares now?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Wait till he plays in a game or 7.
Or faces actual pitching and not soft toss.
Yeah, exactly. And I know. So I wouldn't draft him at that spot anymore. I don't know what the number is where I'd take him yet right now. Somewhere around 20, but I'd hope someone makes that decision for me. I'm taking Trout before him right now. I'm taking Devers before him right now.
Can I veer on that topic for 1 second?
Yeah.
Where do you see the drop off in the second round? Is there a spot? Because I see a hard drop off at a certain spot.
After 22.
Wow, that's my exact number.
Wow.
I don't think it's that crazy. There's actually a little bit of an 80.
There's probably someone below that makes it and someone above that doesn't make it for you, but
there is, and I think the interesting thing will be for setting your KDS and stuff. Usually my thought. You want to talk KDS for a second?
Yeah, but by all means.
My KDS thoughts at the moment are kind of top 4, or then if I don't get a top 4 pick, I want to get 2 of the top 22. So that takes me to pick. What is that pick? I'm going to do the math real quick. Pick. Was that pick 11? Pick 10?
Yeah, which is
pick 9. Pick 9. So you get 9 and 22.
So it's really funny that we're saying all this because I've been at 8 a lot this year, and I like 8. And I often advocate saying go in the middle and forget plotting for the first round or plotting for the first 2 rounds, but maybe not.
So I think what throws this sideways is I think both deGrom and probably Strider jump in there and make it a top 24.
Are you a jumper?
No, I'm not, but I think that there'll be two people that will jump those. I would rather take Devers, Austin Riley, Trout, one of those guys. If you could just tell me where I could line up my draft, take Austin Riley in the second round, I would just do that right now.
Okay, that's fair. How about Goldie? Do you like Goldie in the second?
Not as much as I like Riley and Devers and Trout.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I was looking at that. I was looking at the ADP from March 1st and just in 15-team leagues. And I was like, yeah, Austin Riley. That's it. That's the list for me.
Yeah, that's the list too. But there are going to be a couple pitchers that slide up there, and it's going to be, people at that 1-2 turn are going to want to, they're getting a lesser hitter. They're going to want to get one of those better pitchers, and we see it in main events all the time. So I think that I think some of those guys are going to fall down a little bit, but it's going to be an interesting spot in there. I think I have a top 4 for sure. And I think that I think I still want those spots. I think those top 4 are material enough for me to figure out the second and third rounds.
So you don't have to answer this, but
I'll answer.
So who in the top 5 does not make it that you're not comfortable with in the top 5? So it's
not necessarily not comfortable, but I would definitely have him 5th would be Jose Ramirez.
Okay.
Acuna, Judge, Julio, and Turner. I would love to get either of those, and I don't really care which order I get in. So I think that I'll just take pick 4 and be happy with it.
Okay. Why those guys over Ramirez? Why is Ramirez slightly below those guys for you?
I just have a little bit of trepidation about his lack of hard contact at some point coming back to bite him. He's just not quite as elite as the other guys there. 36% last year, 6% barrel. I just wonder at some point the home runs may dip down in the low 20s, and then he becomes and the steals are really nice, and he's a great player. I love him, but I just think there's a little bit there, and the low strikeouts are just elite. The average will always be there. I just think he has a little bit more home run downside than the other guys do.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah. So it's just a personal thing. There's people like Jose Ramirez first, and I would in third base. What was he, 29-20 last year, 36-27 the year before. I just think he's got a little bit less kind of automatic offensive production the other guys do.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Let's see. Some quick other news notes. Fernando Tatis, bruised knee, should be back on Monday. Sounds like he's fine. Do you put Tatis in your top 22 when we're talking about that group? Are you willing to take him?
Yeah, that's the tough part, though. I mean, I haven't been willing to take him so far. We got another set of RotoWire Roundtable rankings due coming up soon. And I am intrigued now. I have to pull up and see where did I have him last time, because I want to say the answer is no, but I have Tatis at no, I have him at 21. So yes, okay. I will take him.
Yeah, he's like I'm looking at the draft champions ADP the last couple weeks, and he's like pick 18 right now. So I think that there'll be someone that takes him. I just don't know if I had like pick 21, 22 if I wanted to be forced into that decision.
Yeah, and that's just the thing, though, too. It's like I haven't been forced into that decision. I haven't drafted at the wheel yet. I haven't drafted 14th yet. He's always gone by pick 18. I don't even think the last time I drafted 13th was a while ago.
Do you think right now Cole is 15, Corbin Burns is 17? You think those are like 9, 10, 11, 12 picks in a main event coming up? Do you think those guys move up 4 or 5 picks? Or do you think they kind of stick at the turn?
I'd probably move up, but I still argue there's a non-zero chance we have at least one main with 0 pitchers in the first 15. One main. That's all I ask. It's going to be. It's not a great chance.
What you have to do is get the turn, and you got to take the pitcher second, so you make sure it stays out of the first round.
I'll be a one-man guaranteer of no bet. I'm not even going to bet on it, but
make sure you take the hitter first when you do your 2 picks. But
because that would count. Yes,
that would count. So let's see. Vlad Guerrero felt good running the bases on Sunday. Sounds like he'll be good for opening day. It seems like we're probably trending pretty good there. Starling Marte, scary. He took a hit by a pitch to the head. He was negative concussion. That's obviously something we got to watch for a little bit. Those have been tough ones over the years because those just kind of linger. And it's hard to really know, when a guy is fully back, and it can be tough. But it sounds like he came back and hit really well that game. He came back and he hit 2 home runs or a home run or a double or something like that. But he is kind of up in the air at the moment.
He is, and obviously he's coming back from double groin surgery too. So
that does not sound like a fun off season, by the way.
No, negative. Negative strike.
That would have been such a good Oscars reference right there. You should have just done it.
Yeah. I was going to go there, but I didn't see the new one yet. So I don't know. Did they say that phrase?
I don't even know what to do with the fact you haven't seen the new one yet.
I know. I suck.
So good.
I haven't seen anything.
So fun. Just fun.
All right, I will definitely see. Well, you know what? Obviously, I'm gonna get a chance to see it. And it's gonna be out there again.
It's out now. It's out. It's on. It's streaming now.
Where's it streaming?
Paramount Plus, I think.
Oh, that's why I haven't seen it. I don't want to pay for yet another streaming app. I mean,
your daughter watch all the Marvels movies, right? So you guys like fun, big. You guys.
Oh yeah, we will. We're behind on Marvel too, by the way, but that's just
I kind of am too,
because they the last ones weren't as great. So
you gotta watch Top Gun. It's just fun.
I will. Everybody loves it, so I will watch it.
I mean, it's not the greatest movie of all time, but it's just really, really fun,
and it's actually
pretty well done too. So it's a lot of good callbacks. Let's see. Anthony Rizzo scratch with a cranky back. Sounds like every Tuesday and Wednesday morning for me. But I just not what you want to see right away in the spring training. But I'm sure it'll be fine. But that's just something to keep an eye on.
But no, I don't.
I hate backs.
Well, and Rizzo's got a history.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, it's not just like this is a first time. Oh, he's got a back now, but he's had a back a few times.
Yeah, that's definitely one to just make sure you look at and make sure he's playing full time before you jump it back in that market. Lastly, Lance McCullers starting a throwing program on Saturday. Do you find yourself taking him at a discount anywhere? Or you just kind of fully all out here? What are you doing with McCullers at the moment?
I'm not taking him.
I
haven't had him yet, so I hope I'm wrong. I mean, he was great when he came back last year.
Yeah,
but then he's at 350 right now. I mean, I guess that there's a price, but I mean, it's just the delayed return. It's the same thing as before with the forearm. I guess in a redraft, he's not on my board.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's a spot, like you say, if I take him in the 20s where I'm like, you know what, there's everybody here is so bad.
Right.
If I have to drop him after 3 weeks, I drop him. But I just hate going to this. And so many pitchers get hurt anyway. I just don't want to start the season with a guy who's hurt already. Yeah,
and and the corollary here is I'm totally all over Hunter Brown. In fact, I'm ticked. There was Gray Albright snagged him from me in Raz Slam. I think I've been getting him everywhere else. I went a little early on him in yogurt, although definitely a couple of people said that they were going to get him. So I was never getting him if I didn't go early on him. I think Hunter Brown finds a way to stay in that rotation even after McCullers comes back.
Yeah, man, I think it just depends. Obviously, he was really good last year. He got called up. It was a small amount of innings, but he was really good in the minors too. He was whip under 1.1, a 2.55 ERA, and AAA with a ton of strikeouts. I mean, there's a lot of upside right there. If he's good, they're not just going to take him out. The Astros are not done by any means.
Yeah, so Hunter Brown is who we're talking about there when we say he, and definitely want some shares of him. I want to, every Astros pitcher. Even Urquidy, who doesn't strike out that many guys, I'll still take for the price.
Yeah, they just unfortunately they know what they're doing. Somebody made fun of me on Twitter last week about Astros shade, and I'm just jealous. It's just the way it is. It's just as an A's fan, they have all the nice things and we have none of them. So it's the way it goes. But let's jump into targets. This is what everybody wants to hear. They want to talk about some players that we are talking about drafting. Last week was a lot of players we're not drafting. Let's start a catcher. I'm going to start with you. I've got a couple names each position, so you can go first here. Give me a catcher that you find yourself not only taking leagues, but for someone you go into a league and you're like, I'm going to try and find myself getting him at the price.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you an early one and a late one, or middle one.
Coming prepared, I love it.
Yeah, I try every once in a while. Early, Sal Perez. I think he. We talked about not going after Rushman. The corollary is I'll take Perez at the same price. I think Perez outproduces Rushman this year, especially in terms of power. I understand he won't match Happy Fun Ball levels. He doesn't have to be worth that price. I like a lot of catchers this year, though. So if I don't get Perez, I'm not hurt by that too much, although we play in 2 catcher leagues, so you got to get 2 of them.
Yep.
An ideal pairing for me is Sal Perez and my second catcher, Gabriel Moreno.
I'm not going to do late catcher because you already got mine. So I'm going to only give you an early one. That's beautiful. I love it.
The guy has great bat control, great batting eye. Gabriel Moreno is someone I'm definitely going to have a lot of, unless everybody else takes him from me there. So, the question for him is twofold: 1, playing time, because Carson Kelly isn't gone away yet, and 2, power. But I think if he hits for batting average, I care about the power, but I don't care about the power.
I fully agree with you. If he's going to hit for batting average, he's my second catcher, and he's picked 242 right now in DCs over the last couple weeks. That's the 16-17 round. I love him as a second catcher, or if you punted catcher, like I love him as you can grab him as your first catcher. If you just missed everybody and you waited, I love getting him too. It's one of those things. Like I'm just, he's a stud prospect. Give me the pedigree at that price. If it's for an average, I don't really care. I mean, like you said, I care about the power, but I don't care about the power. And I think at some point, huge batting averages in the minors. Hit 315 in 2022 with a K rate under 17%, and then hit 373 in Double A in 145 plate appearance. He's just been, you're right, like you said, great batting eye. I think the batting average is going to be there.
Yeah. Question from Keeping It Fresh. That's how many plate appearances do you see him get him? I've got him for 361 for what it's worth. Now,
I would take it's a good line.
Thank you.
But I take the over if I had to bet it.
Yeah. Question. How are you handling the position generally? How do you feel like? Do you take an early catcher, or do you?
What do you consider early?
Top 100.
Probably not, because I like a couple of guys right outside of the top 100 I'm about to talk about. But
okay,
I don't dislike and it's funny because usually I'm like, oh, I don't want this guy, I don't want this guy, I don't want this guy catcher. Like, I think Realmuto's a stud. I think Will Smith is just insanely consistent. His 2 years are just like exact replicas and both really good. I even kind of like Wilson Contreras. I usually don't. I like that. But the two guys I like right outside the top 100, I like William Contreras and I like Sean Murphy. They're like picks 119 and 120. It's kind of that spot, 8th, 9th round. Like it's a good spot to get my catcher. I just think Contreras got traded to Milwaukee. Good place to hit. The playing time is open there more than it was with d'Arnaud. Hit 20 home runs in 376 plate appearances. You just look at the underlying metrics. I mean, it's just legit. 84th percentile hard hit rate of 46%, 91st percentile barrel guy. I mean, that's not just among catchers. That's among all hitters. Like, that's really impressive. The strikeouts are an issue. There's no doubt about it. The only thing is you look at his minor league numbers and they were a little bit less. And we see that with guys, kind of their first couple times through their first year or two, they really strike out a lot more. And then there are some guys that kind of regress back to his minor league numbers. He was definitely lower in the minors, some low 20s in there. So I think maybe, he's not going to go to 20%. Maybe he goes to like 23, 24%, something like that. You look at his, the XBA is a concern. That's 234. So the BABIP was high last year. He's not going to hit 278, but give me like 245 and a bunch of bombs. I think it works out really well in that park and that lineup. And hell, he might hit 4th.
Yeah, that tier is great. Matt Leahy points out. I agree. I mean, there's a lot of good catchers in that range. Super H80J says, I'll wait for Cal Raleigh. What do you think about Raleigh?
I was about to pull him up there. I think the ADP on Raleigh is about right, but I think the batting average is scary as hell.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you on that.
29.5% last year, massive fly ball guy. So that helps the home runs. I think the power will be there. It's pretty legit. He was 96th percentile barrel guy last year. So like really, really legit power. I just think that 210 is very much in play.
Yeah, it is. But that's true with a lot of catchers also. I will get them at ADP or lower. ADP right now is 160. Now keep in mind, we play in leagues where you're required to roster 2 catchers.
Yep.
Do not pay 160 for a league in a league where you can only have to roster 1 catcher. Wait, either get the early guy or wait.
If you're a 12 team, it only starts 1 catcher. You only start in 12 catchers total. And what's Cal Raleigh? Cal Raleigh is the 12th catcher. So like you don't need to push anyone up like that because nobody's gonna take a second catcher in a 1 catcher league. It's kind of like tight end in football. If you don't go in the top ones, just wait. They're all kind of the same as you get towards the back.
Right. And if someone does take a second one, first of all, laugh at them. Yeah. Secondly, go ahead. That's fine. You can get Travis d'Arnaud or our guy Moreno later, or Vasquez or Heim or whatever.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I think that it's very important that we're talking 2 catcher leagues here, and that is key. I do like Sean Murphy too. I think that what I liked is the second half last year. He really adjusted. He was better. He dropped his K rate a lot last year, 5%. He clearly struggled in 2021. A lot of strikeouts. The batting average was low, and it popped up nicely last year. Hit 250. The strikeout rate went down to 20%. I think he adjusted a lot, and he's just moving to a better place to hit, a better lineup, a better situation overall. He might split some time with Travis d'Arnaud, but they didn't trade for Sean Murphy to sit him very much. I think he's going to play plenty.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. I think there's some good ones there. What about first base? A lot of first basemen in this mix. Who do you find yourself gravitating towards?
Okay, so we're gonna. I take a lot of early ones. I don't mind that. Like I have had Olsen a couple times. I wouldn't mind Alonso if I'm in the second round. I've taken Freeman in the first round before. All these things are palatable, but that doesn't help anybody. So let's go middle tier and late. Middle tier.
I tried to pick very few guys that were in the top 2 rounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
middle tier, I'm going to take Andrew Vaughn a decent amount. Even though I understand there's some concerns about the quality of contact, I just feel like he's on a nice progression. There's a lot of White Sox feels here, by the way. And late, I'm going to go Tristan Casas a lot.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, really. And you get him really, really late. He's the 26th first baseman eligible player to go, usually around pick 220. Good part of the lineup there. Great batting eye, amazing batting eye. And granted, in an OBP league, he'd be worth a hell of a lot more than a batting average league. But even in a batting average league, which is most everybody, I still think there's growth potential there. I think he's got the job, and I think he'll be in a good spot in the lineup too.
Yeah, I like those. I like those myself too. The guy that I'm going to talk about pick 129 over the last couple of weeks. I love Christian Walker this year. Big bounce back season last year. Hit 36 home runs, 94 RBI, hit 242. But I just like all the trends. The hard hit rate. Someone just hit a 3-run homer from Mexico.
Meneses again.
You can't stop Joey Meneses.
He's also first base eligible, but I used him as an outfield target. So
that would have been really good timing right there as we were talking first base.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I guess he's for real, Scott.
Brady Singer's pitching.
Yeah. Not for long.
A fate of mine right there.
Yeah.
Christian Walker, the hard hit rate bounced back up to 44%, barrel rate up 5% to 11.5%. He dropped his K rate 4%, under 20%. I don't think people realize that Christian Walker was an under 20% strikeout guy last year. Like, that's really impressive. Drop swinging strike rate 3%. Hits a lot of fly balls. That helps the home runs. He's got some batting average upside. I think his career BABIP was 287. Last year was 248. If you look at, I know the batting average wasn't good last year, but his XBA last year was 66 percentile, so it was not bad at all. His chase rate went for the 46 percentile to the 82nd percentile. He did a lot less chasing. I think 2022 looks really good. I know 21 is still in the mix, but I think he's got a little bit more upside than he had. Definitely a target for me at 127. I think that's like the 9th round. I'd love to get him in the 9th round.
Yeah, I would too. And I love that range. I like Vaughn. Too. I like Crone. I like Walker.
I actually like Nate Lowe at the price too. I think that I looked at Nate Lowe thinking that I'm like, I'm going to poke some holes in this season. I couldn't. I think he's become really solid.
Yeah, it's a great round. Brady Singer now off my board. Yeah, that's so funny. But
he was one of the names I had as a fade last week. We didn't get to him, but I do not. I'm not a Brady Singer guy at all.
Yeah,
Meneses killed that ball, by the way.
I know the first one he killed even more. I think too. All the bat flip too. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, go Meneses.
That's funny. You're like a second behind me.
So Meneses's ADP is 219 right now. It's gonna go up. How early does it? How high does he go now?
Just based on today's game.
Well, I mean, yes. I think there's some people that are going to be like, like he wasn't on their board, or hey, just a late bloomer. Who cares? Don't trust the Nats. All that. Yeah, he's definitely going up. I bet you he goes in the top. I bet you he goes in the top 175, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets up in around 150 after all this. I think it really will move.
I don't think he'll move quite that much, just because there's a bunch of names there. I don't think he'll jump, but yeah, I mean, he could jump some names there. So there's a guy in here that I do like. I want to talk.
They're all watching the Oscars. We're fine. We're good.
That's good. Miguel Vargas is about it was like pick 240. Now he's about pick 205. As I look at this guy, I know he's got the injury right now, and we need to get him fully healthy, but he's got a huge opportunity for playing time here. He's going to be the second baseman if he can get healthy here in the next week or so he's got some time to ramp up. But I mean, look at this dude. This guy was an absolute stud in the minors. 17 home runs, 16 stolen bases last year, scored 100 runs in 113 games, and hit 304, hit about 320 in the minors in 2021 with 23 bombs, 11 stolen bases. Really good K rate guy, really good walk guy. He's legit fast too, 94th percentile sprint speed. He was up for a little bit in the majors last year, so that got taken down. I think it's a great spot for him. He's moved up. I still love him in here. You're talking, round 13, 14, somewhere in there. I love it. You're going to get first base, or you get second eligibility pretty quick. Covers your middle and corner. I like Miguel Vargas a lot. I think he's going to be a stud right away.
Trust the Dodgers, right?
Almost always trust the Dodgers.
Yep. Draft him as a first baseman. Just remember that you only get him there to start.
Yeah, you're going to want him in that middle second base. It's just a nice thing to have. So, I like Vargas a lot. There's a lot of first basemen, but he's the one for me in the middle rounds that I find myself kind of moving towards.
Sure.
Before we get into second base, let's a quick note from our sponsors at Underdog. The fantasy baseball season is underway, and there's no better place to play than Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play fantasy baseball. Right now, Underdog has MLB best ball tournaments, including the Dinger, which has $500,000 in total prizes. In best ball, all you do is join a contest, draft your team, and that's it. There are no waivers, no trades, and no in-season management. You draft 20 rounds of players and get the best cumulative scores in your starting lineup. That's 3 pitchers, 3 infielders, 3 outfielders, and 1 flex each week of the regular season. Getting started is simple. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com, sign up with the promo code RWMLB, and not only Underdog double your initial deposit up to $100, but you'll also get free 6 months of our RotoWire subscription for free. Again, that's Underdog Fantasy, promo code RWMLB. Draft your $100,000 Dinger team today. So second base, Jeff. Second base is a problem position for me. I do not find myself liking a lot of guys. So I'm going to go first here because there's not a lot of guys I like. So if you take mine, I could be in trouble and there'll be bad content.
I think we have the same guy, by the way. But I'm going to go ahead.
Surprised if we did.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me.
We might. I may have said something last week. I don't remember. My guy here is someone I have not drafted the last couple years because I wasn't really buying into their kind of freak big year. But I like Gleyber Torres this year.
Okay, it's definitely not the same guy.
I did not think it's going to be the same guy. I did not think you were a Gleyber. But you look at Torres, and last year was 24 home runs, 10 stolen bases. He now has back-to-back years of double-digit steals, and maybe the new rules help that even a little bit more. But you look at the metrics. Career-high hard hit rate last year at 45%, 10.7% barrel. The K's inched up a little bit, but still 22.5%. Not great, but still pretty workable there. Big fly ball bump up to 46%. So you get the fly ball bump, you get more hard contact, you get more home runs. He was clearly more aggressive. I really like the approach change when I looked at Torres deeply. He swung at 28% of first pitches in 2021, 40% of first pitches last year. Like he clearly changed how he was kind of approaching at bats, getting a little more aggressive, getting good pitches to hit rather than being patient. I like that. Hard hit rate was 77% last year. First time he's ever been over the 45th percentile. He was definitely a different guy last year. ADP is about 109. If he keeps the hard contact numbers and gets 10 steals in that lineup, I think he's a target for me pretty quickly. And I'm someone who has not targeted Gleyber in multiple years.
In that lineup is the phrase that it caught my ear there a little bit because I don't think the Yankees lineup is that good. I think it's okay.
All right.
I think they have like if everything goes right, it could be a great lineup.
Sure, when you got Volpe hitting third and Jason Dominguez hitting fourth.
Yeah, right. Like if Peraza or Cabrera ends up being really good, that's fine. Does Josh Donaldson have a better year too? DJ LeMahieu returned to form. Yeah,
you're right. There's more question marks in that lineup than normal.
Anthony Rizzo, there's a lot of different ways that could go sideways or forward.
But if Gleyber leads off, like the bottom half of the lineup doesn't really matter that much to him, right?
True.
I mean, I guess driving guys in, it would matter, but when he's hitting, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, whoever it may be. But you're right. It's not as deep as it used to be. But I like Torres. I find myself not liking a lot of second basemen as I go through. I find a lot of them, they're overpriced. And he's kind of the first guy that I jump on and pick 109. That's about the, I don't know, what is that, the 7th, 8th round, somewhere in the little bit early 8th round. I do find myself liking Torres. So who's your guy that you thought mine was going to be?
Well, I thought the cover photo this was Brandon Lau. Maybe it was a different Ray, but
it is a different Ray.
Oh, I'm sorry. My photo. Obviously, I don't know the faces very well.
It is a pitching Ray.
How now, Brandon Lau? I'm going to go with that. I think he's just a good bounce back candidate. A lot of power late. I am willing to go early second baseman, and I know you're not. So that's why I was surprised when you said that you struggled because I thought you had like copious second baseman, middle or late.
I was hoping to, and I find myself struggling with second base. It's going to be a position that I'm going to have to figure out some late guys because I'm not going to take an early one. I'm going to have to find a couple of guys I really like. And that's a digging in for the next 10 days here before we head to Las Vegas.
All right. Fair enough. And Lau, so he was overpriced last year, even if he didn't get all hurt. But, he's now going like the 160s, 170s. You got the warts that come with it a little bit, but he's one of those guys I think that'll benefit from the shift limitations quite a bit. Strikeouts are a concern. He doesn't run, so I'm really selling this pick really well. But I think there's good cheap power late.
And the key is that he did drop his strikeout rate almost like 4.5% last year, and that was his one big issue. So if you get that, and you jump up, you bump up the hard hit, maybe back to 2021, you combo that, it can work out pretty. I think the lack of power last year was an injury thing, and not really something that I'd be worried about. I mean, he hit 39 home runs the year before. As I go through here, there's like, I don't like this guy, I don't like this guy. I'm fine with Lau at his ADP, not a super target, but that is one that if I'm in those rounds, I'd be willing to take too.
Yeah. I ended up with India in a league, and I'm okay with that at ADP or later, which is possible. There's a slew of guys in that range that I find is palatable. I don't find like Rojas is palatable for me. Drury is palatable for me. Cronenworth, Marte, all those guys. Yeah, I can see it. But, if India goes like 160, then no. But if it's like 180, sure.
So I want there to be a path that Christopher Morel gets a job in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I like the player a lot. Right now, he's kind of looking maybe like a utility guy on the outside looking in. I know the strikeouts are huge, but 13.5%. But he was 16 home runs, 10 stolen bases last year. That's a very quiet, for that good of a line, that's a pretty quiet. He was pretty quiet last year, 425 plate appearance. I know he hit 235, but as a late second baseman, if you've got, you don't need batting average from him, you need some power, a little bit of speed. I like him as a late middle guy. So if I find myself and I totally get shut out in second baseman, I do like him late. I don't want him to be my starting second baseman.
I like Morel a lot too.
Yeah. But I like the profile. I like anybody that hits the ball that hard, and maybe you can figure out, you look a little bit in the minor league numbers, the strikeouts were high, but not quite as high. If he can get down to like 24, 25%, I think he becomes a pretty interesting fantasy guy at least.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. There's multiple pathways for him though, too. I mean, current one is Suzuki's hurt a little bit. Yeah. So that kind of grants him some playing time. Wisdom was hurt a little bit, and Wisdom is not a sure thing at third base.
Agreed.
The problem is second base is kind of closed off for him now because Nico Horner's there, and I like Nico Horner. I think he's a solid player. I think he's a really good defender. And so I don't think he loses that job.
Yeah, with him and Swanson there, the middle infield at bats just fully went away.
Yep.
What about let's jump over to third base. We'll talk about the hot corner here. I think I made my case earlier that I badly want Austin Riley, but that's not going to be really surprising. So I'm not going to use that as my guy. But I love Austin Riley this year. I'd even move him up a little bit from ADP. I just think everything is great last year. Everything's getting better. I think the ceiling on him is power wise is just as high as anybody else in baseball right now.
Would you take Riley's over Devers? Or Riley over Devers?
Riley over Devers and Riley over Machado.
Over Machado. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to be around the turn then.
Well, I don't, and I hope nobody takes Riley before I can get him.
Okay, well.
But yeah, if I was at the turn, I think I would just jump it and do it. I probably wouldn't take him ahead of Freeman, but it's like right after that.
Yeah. All right, let's go a little lower.
Yeah, please.
So I'll have a mid-tier one, Gunnar Henderson. I want a lot of him. I have had some him a few times.
I like that one a lot. I like that one more than I thought I would when I dug into him.
Yeah, I remember you saying something about that last week when we were dinging Bregman.
Yes, that's
true. Just take Henderson there.
Can we talk about Bregman as a fade again? I like talking about that.
I'm okay with the Suarez and Chapman, Eugenio Suarez and Matt Chapman. I don't really love anything after that. So maybe you can unearth a gem for me here because I think I want to have that position addressed early.
So you actually mentioned the guy that I do really like, and you're probably not going to be surprised when I say it's Matt Chapman. But I like what I saw last year. He hit the third straight rough batting average year, but the strikeouts went down again, still high, 27.5%, but going down. I really like the swinging strike rate fell. It's down to 10.8%, closer to his 2018, 2019 levels when he wasn't a complete batting average drain. You look at the hard contact, it's back up where it was, 50.7%, 97th percentile hard hit, 13% barrel guy, 88th percentile there. A lot of fly balls. That's probably tough for the batting average, but good for the pop. Sprint speed 77th percentile. I wonder if these new rules maybe give him a couple of stolen bases. I know he's never been a stolen base guy, but I think he might steal 5 this year, and that's not nothing.
Mm-hmm. Still
a great walk guy. As much as he struggled with the batting average, he's still 11% walk rate, so the eye is still there. The power is real, and I think there's enough hints of a not horrible batting average that I think like 245 and 30 are in play, and at pick 150, I'll take that every day.
Yep. I agree. I want to have the position addressed by then. I'm pretty sure about that. And you're going to see, because of the attention that position provides, Jordan Walker is going to keep going higher and higher if he gets that. What about Josh Young? Comment in the chat about Josh Young. Any interest in him?
Yeah, as I've read a little bit more, I mean, I wonder if last year was just an injury thing, but I mean,
Yeah.
the strikeout rate was absurd when he came up, but it was so few at bats, 100 plate appearances, 38% strikeouts rate's pretty rough. But I mean, this guy that was a big prospect. It sounds like maybe he wasn't fully healthy last year. But if I were to drop a little bit, I actually like Alec Boehm in Philadelphia.
Okay.
I like the trends here. The
You liked him last year too, right?
I did, and it was not great. It was 13 home runs. He had 280 though, so like at least he gave you something for a category. He was taken pretty late too. I think I got him in the high teens rounds. He scored 80 runs and had a 280 batting average, so he didn't kill anybody. But 13 homers and 2 steals from your corner is not really a great thing. But I just think that I like he dropped the strikeout rate 9%. That was his issue in 2021. He can mix 2021's hard contact with 2020 strikeouts. We really got something that might be tough. Those two might not go together. But I think he's someone that was an elite prospect, just a third overall pick in 2018. So I'm willing to take a shot on Boehm as my corner, or if I get shut out on third base early.
Okay. I mean, it's a great lineup, and it'll be better even when Harper gets back.
Yeah.
Of course, when Harper gets back, that's like there's that tension for playing time a little bit too. But yeah.
You want one more? So just we're giving out all kinds.
Why not? Let's go.
I like Ryan McMahon in Colorado. He's going to play second base now too, so he's going to get second and third base eligibility as they move guys around.
I forgot he doesn't have it right now.
He does not have. He's only third base to start the year. I just think a lot of hard contact, playing in cores. Maybe he strikes out too much, but bumps that batting average up a little bit playing cores. If he hits 250, I mean, he got a chance at 25 home runs. I don't think he's gonna win any leagues at that spot, but at pick 190, 198, 200 right in there. I think he's a solid pick in there. Someone that I love. You get the corner in the middle after a couple weeks here.
I think he's palatable. I just think that if he's not going to break out, we've seen he is what he is at this point in time. I guess that's fine. It's like I missed on my targets. I'll take McMahon.
Yeah, and with Brendan Rodgers out, I just like the fact you're going to get third base and second base.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And and even like Rengifo is the same way a little bit there too. Although I don't think he's great. I think Mayhew's palatable there. I don't want to have to do that though. I've done that a couple of leagues, and I'd rather have a strength there because I don't feel like any one of those are like, yes, I've got that guy.
Are you in any way back in on Yoan Moncada at third base? I
can understand the concept.
I want to be so badly, and every time I look, I'm like, why am I looking at this? I can't force myself into it.
No, I guess not. I haven't yet. Let's just say I haven't.
I mean, I know he had the long COVID and all that, and there's only so much you could. There's been 3 years since that. I don't know. Someone in the chat mentioned McMahon's a product of cores. I don't doubt that, but he's still in cores. So
yeah, and he's not going.
No, he's not. I would assume he's not going anywhere.
Yeah. If I'm, I'd take, you mentioned Moncada, give me Yandy Diaz for basically the same price.
Okay.
Even Isaac Paredes over him, and you get 3 positions.
Yeah. If I got fully stuck down here, I would take a shot on Josh Donaldson at pick 400. I think that the chance of a bounce back is not zero. And if you'll be able to tell after 3 weeks, if you just want to drop him back.
Yeah. I'd say a little tip is when you're drafting your reserves, make sure you get a third base eligible guy as a second one. If you didn't get one early. Yeah.
I always go with opposite of whatever my corner infielder is. I go with the opposite on the bench.
Exactly. And I might even get an extra one just in case, especially if I waited on third base. Just, you never know. Because someone will be fine in there, but I don't necessarily know who it is. So I might as well have an extra one in there, perhaps.
So we jump over to shortstop. I'm going to cheat a little bit here and take a guy a little bit, or talk about a guy a little bit earlier than I think we normally do, but I really love him. Who do you like at shortstop? Who's your guy here?
Okay, so Seager, and I think you agree.
That's my one I'm going to talk about in a second. Yes.
Okay, so I'll let you talk about him. Nothing after Nico Horner when you look at ADP until you get all the way to Oswaldo Peraza. Like, I don't like Baez for the price. I don't like Estrada for the price. Tovar maybe could work out. Stott is more of a second base for me. Abrams, I don't like. Mateo could lose his job halfway through the season.
As good as shortstop is early, it just stops being good. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, that's why I'm saying like nothing after Horner, really. I don't want them to be my starting shortstop at least.
I agree there. So who do you like?
So I like almost everything before that, though.
Okay.
Like, I like Jeremy Pena. I like Willie Adames a lot. But Seager, I know you and I agree. So I'll let you talk about him.
Yeah, I mean, I love Seager. I know that you don't get stolen bases. That's the one thing. It's got to be the right team. No stolen bases from your shortstop is a tough thing to deal with. But Career high home runs last year, but only, you know, career low in batting average. But you look at his BABIP, 242. He never had a BABIP under 300 his entire career. Last year was 242. So take away just random luck regression plus the shift. I think that that bounces back to where it used to be. Hard hit rate was down a little bit, but still 45.5%. The barrel rate is still over 10%. I love his K rate was down. He had 33 home runs while dropping his K rate to 15.5%. I mean, his StatCast page is super red. You love that, except for the whiff and the chase rates. He does chase a little bit, but I mean, you look at his batting average last year was 245. His X batting average was 283, 96th percentile. It was the most freaky down batting average year. It's just not going to happen again. The power's there. I love this profile. In the 4th round, he's probably my biggest target that we have on the board in a certain round.
Yeah. I've drafted him multiple times in the 4th round in 15-team leagues. Yeah. You know, Gleyber, I took him. I took him also in FSGA, and I think I took him one other league, and I think I took him in some of my 12s. I like him a lot.
Yeah, it's a weird problem that if you get, I'm trying to do the math in my head really quick, but if you get an early pick, it's really hard to get him because you're going to pick 29, 30, 28, 32, whatever it is, and you're probably going to go that early, but he's gone by the time you get back. So it's one of those things in a snake league, an auction, you could just get him. In a straight draft, if you're in the wrong spot, it's tough to get him, even if he's a big target for you.
Yeah.
So I found myself liking Adames too. I didn't know that I fully was going to. And as I've looked a little bit deeper, great park to hit in. He's pretty fast too. So I think this new rules might help him in stolen bases. Everything you look at, really legit, 13% barrel rate, 90th percentile there. And he could have been better. His BABIP was low last year. It was 278. Career BABIP was 325. So maybe the batting average bounced a little bit back too. That was the one thing that was a problem. He had 238, but I mean, if he hits 255, like this is a crazy good profile.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So yeah, give me some of that. I mean, I probably want 2 shortstops relatively early.
Yeah, I wouldn't fight that hard either. I mean,
especially if you don't like second base. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, that's good. The fall off is bad, and you don't like second base. I mean, I don't think that's a crazy proposition either. You give me Seager and Jeremy Pena or something like that. I'd be pretty damn happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anybody late at shortstop? You mentioned there's not a lot you like. I do like Ha-Seong Kim a little bit. Looks like he's gonna be the second baseman with Tatis playing center field, Xander obviously at shortstop. Played a lot last year. He was not super great, but 11 home runs, 12 stolen bases. Didn't have a lot of hard contact. I just think he's one of those guys. He's 255 ADP. He's going to be second base and shortstop eligible. I guess is he second base and third base? What is he eligible then? He's third base and shortstop. That's right. So he's eligible at corner and middle. Then he'll get second base also. So he'll be second, short, and third after the first couple of weeks. I just think he's gonna be he's a nice puzzle piece more than that. He's not gonna be huge. I think there's a little more stolen base upside there. He's pretty fast, 79th percentile sprint speed. So I think maybe he instead of a 11-12, maybe he becomes a 12-20 type of guy, and that would be pretty huge at 3 positions in the back half of the draft.
Yeah. I also like Oswaldo Pereira. I like Oswald Peraza, Oswaldo Cabrera, and Oswald Peraza.
It's impossible.
It's wrong every week, by the way.
It's impossible.
But I like Peraza a lot. I think he's a 10-10 guy.
I think he's the starting shortstop right now too.
Yeah. And it's the one like underpriced Yankee that you can get out there. Yeah. So I like him. Obviously he's gonna have to hit right away. The shadow of Volpe lingers a little bit there.
He is certainly making that shadow bigger every day, isn't he?
He sure is. Yeah. But it could be. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm a little lukewarm on Gleyber Torres. Actually, is it's a walk year for him in a way. Yeah. It's like they made a point of not giving him a long-term deal. I don't think. They have
a lot of young studs.
Yeah, it could be Volpe Cabrera for the next 6 years.
Is it Volpe?
I don't know.
I said Volpe. I think you might be right. I don't know. But I mean, with them and Dominguez, like they just have a lot of young studs. I mean, Cabrera and Peraza are both really exciting. It's it could be a fun team by mid-season if they promote a bunch of these guys.
Yep.
Let's jump into the outfield and starting pitchers as we kind of finish up our targets here and talk about some more. But first, a note from our sponsors at Fantrax. Fantrax is the most customizable fantasy platform in the industry, offering the greatest fantasy experience for all kinds of baseball leagues, whether it be dynasty, keeper, redraft, or best ball leagues. Are you coming from another service? Fantrax makes that easy as well, as they can import any of your current leagues and customize as you need. Fantrax offers the most in-depth player pool in the industry, including minor league players. Need a customizable commissioner service for your fantasy league? Fantrax offers more customization than any other platform. You can alter your scoring system, how you do fab, head-to-head schedule, various categories you may like. Fantrax offers custom solutions for all that and more, and it's all free. Sign up free today and be entered to win an official MLB signed jersey from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Simply go to fantrax.com/RotoWire and sign up today. It's fantrax.com/RotoWire. Fantrax, the home of fantasy sports. All right, Jeff, let's split outfield into kind of early-ish and maybe later. I wanted to cheat and go too early, but I'll follow the rules. Who do you like in the top 100 outfield?
Eloy Jimenez, and I like that range too.
Damn. Took mine right from out from under me. That's beautiful. I love
Nailed it. You don't know how happy that makes me is when you agree with me.
And the funny thing is, I was about to say I love that range.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There's a lot of players I like in that area. I like Springer in that range too. Who else do I like in that range?
Friend of the podcast, Teoscar Hernandez in that range. And don't say you don't like him because he'll be offended.
Teoscar. I do like him quite a bit there. I like saying him. Those three right next, all next to each other. Boom, boom, boom. And they're like their own tier. And
I would love to double tap the crap out of those three guys. I'd love to take two of them.
Yeah. I really like them. Really like them quite a bit. If I tell you if Eloy plays the whole year and they tell me he leads league in home runs, like that's not crazy, right? Right. And hitting 300 while doing it too, perhaps. I mean, that's
do not get batting average power combo guys in the spot.
Yeah. You're giving up something. You're giving up speed with Eloy, but okay, that's fine. Yeah. You just have to understand it just to build accordingly there. Later, I promise you, I wrote down Meneses before he homered twice tonight.
Sure you did.
I've got a lot of Garrett Mitchell. His price has gone up.
Is he okay? He had a hamstring or something like that?
I don't know, actually. So
thought he had something this weekend.
Yeah, I probably did. A lot going on this weekend. I had a 35 round score sheet draft yesterday. So
you're too busy filling out your Oscar bracket.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know me. Yeah, for sure. He's okay. He's doing well and he's about to return the lineup in about a week.
Oh, good. So. Okay.
Left on Thursday. Give me Jake Fraley too. I will get some Fraley late. I like obviously I like the ballpark. I think he's gonna bat third most of the season. And he even homered against the lefty the other day.
If he's batting third, that says something about the Reds, doesn't it?
Oh, it says a lot of things about the Reds, but nothing we haven't said before though.
It was funny. The A's and Giants were on, and we were just in the house. And I told Christy, look up. The one A is hitting right now is Ramon Laureano, and I was like, yeah. The rest of the lineup is so sad. Seth Brown and Ramon Laureano, and that's about it. Nick
Whalen and I brought up the A's in on the Sirius XM show, and it inspired the question of who is the worst owner in professional sports. And Fisher did get some nominations. Obviously, Danny Boy is number one with a bullet.
Can't be Dan Snyder, right?
Yeah, and then Bob Nutting actually got a lot of mentions too. So
who's he?
Pirates.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
He's like career achievement award almost.
But Snyder's bad owner and bad human, so it's a tough combo to beat.
But there's a lot of those in professional sports.
He's probably not on his own.
There's a lot more than you realize when you start seeing all the responses. Like there's a lot of Viritol out there for some of those people. But
I do not.
James Dolan, for instance,
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that at all. In terms of on field, like ruining a team, Fisher's got to be pretty high up there because they are a disaster. I love Eloy too. I mean, you look at players 300 plate appearances last year. He was third in hard hit rate, 17th in barrels. The power upside is huge, but you get it with a good batting average. Like you said, it's just you don't get that profile outside of the top 2 rounds very much. Mm-hmm. And he dropped his K rate to the lowest of his career, 14%, 0.7% barrel, 55% hard hit. It's really nice. But since you talked about him, I'll talk about Teoscar a little bit. Dude was a top 35 pick last year, and he's fallen all the way down to like the high 70s, low 80s. I know he wasn't great last year, 267, 25 home runs, 6 stolen bases. Didn't kill you, but wasn't great. I took him in the main event, didn't kill me, but wasn't great. But his hard contact got better. It got more elite. He was 98th percentile hard hit, 94th percentile barrel rate. The K's did jump back up. He swings and misses a lot. There's no doubt about that. We talked about that for years. The move to Seattle is a tougher park. But you look at his batting average, in 78th percentile. He hits the ball so hard that whenever he makes contact, he's got a pretty good chance to get a hit. Sprint speed's 84th percentile. I think he gets back to double-digit stolen bases here with the new rules. I think he's a guy that, is fast. Didn't run as much last year. I think he's pretty banged up a bunch of times last year. I think he gets back to 10, 12 stolen bases, and that makes a big difference in someone in his range.
Yeah, I agree. So Eloy or Teoscar, who, if you have to
Both.
choose,
Both. I'm just
you have
taking
to
them both.
choose for which one goes first. Yeah, I know love all God's children the same, but you have to pick one anyhow.
Eloy.
Yeah, me too. But it's so close.
And I like Springer. You mentioned Springer's name. I like Springer in that range too.
Yeah.
The other guy I want to talk about that I do like, and it's tough, is Christian Yelich. He's about pick 118 in DCs right now. So the end of the 8th round, if I'm doing the math right. Yeah, 8th round is 120. Mm-hmm. So yeah. He's just in this range. You just like I feel like last year is kind of like, if you get that, like, okay. The stolen bases are back a little bit last year, which I like to see. Maybe the new rules. Another guy that helps a little bit. But he had 19 stolen bases last year, only 14 home runs, hit 255. Like he does it again. Like it's not a good pick at the price, but doesn't kill you. But at this range, I just think he's someone that, like, the upside is there. It's just one tweak, and it's the launch angle. It's always the same thing. In the years he hits some fly balls, he hits home runs. Still a 48% hard hit rate guy last year. The strikeout rate is down from what it was in 2020 when he really, really struggled. He's still an elite walk guy. The plate discipline's really good. I just think, fly ball goes from 23 to 30%. You got a guy that's a 3rd, 4th rounder. And I'm willing to take that chance. I think that I like that he played a full season last year, finally got in the field for 670 plate appearances. I'm willing to take Yelich at the end of the 8th round, and with the thought that the upside's big and the floor is not that much of a problem.
Okay. It's the first time I've heard anybody say something positive about Yelich this year. So
right.
Now I don't listen to a lot of podcasts just because I lack of bandwidth issues, but
you are always talking about sports. So the last thing you want to do is listen to people talk about baseball, probably.
Something like that. Yeah. But I mean, there's so much good work being done on our space. It's just, I run out of time. Like I know you did one with FTN that I've got like marked to listen to, but it was conference tournaments last week. I'm not going to listen to a podcast when I can watch a game,
I don't like to toot my own horn, but I thought it was pretty good. We talked about starting pitchers after pick 100 with Vlad Sedler on the FTN. I thought it was pretty fun. It was pretty good. We talked about a lot of pitchers.
Vlad, Matty Davis, Brock, they're all awesome. I mean, they're great people too.
If I had to go super late and I get stuck and I need a corner, I actually think Seth Brown in Oakland. There's not many A's that I will even talk about or consider drafting this year. I think Seth Brown is one. He hits a lot of fly balls, hits the ball pretty hard. He was a 90% barrel guy last year at 13%. The park hurts him, I know, but he also hit 25 home runs last year. He strikes out too much. It's always gonna make the batting average a little tough, but I think the pop is real. The speed's a little sneaky. He's a 63rd percentile guy. So I think the stolen base is probably repeat again. So if you get 8 to 10, something like that, I think at ADP kind of in the middle around 14, 15, I think it's pretty workable. You get double eligibility too. There's not many A's I'll draft, but he's one of them.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's not a total zero in speed. So yeah.
And sneaky, everybody's kind of like all wait on steals and get Estuary Ruiz. Christian Pache is killing it in spring training so far. I don't think Ruiz is a lock to make the team or to make the opening day lineup.
I don't really want to get Ruiz, so you're helping that a little bit.
I just think there's a lot of people. And I took him in yogurt because I had no steals. I was like, I better do it now. And I think it's, usually we get guys like, well, at least they're playing. I don't know if I think Ruiz there's a chance. There's a non-zero chance he starts the year in the minors.
Yep.
Let's jump into pitching. Kind of split it like we did outfielders. Give me an early guy. We'll call it top 100 or whatever you want to do. But not too fancy. But I this went nothing over top 100. Just because I think everybody likes players in there. But in 100 to 150, I have 2 guys. Joe Ryan on the Twins. All right.
He went to Driveline. We need to have a went to Driveline filter in there somehow. But we do. Added velocity, different pitch mix. I think he's going to be super fun. And Nick Lodolo, although team context drags him down a little bit, but man, he's so good. I have not a lot of him so far. I want more.
I like the fact that he gets a ton of ground balls in that park too. There's a difference between Hunter Green. Hunter Green is a ton of fly balls, and that scares me in Great American Ballpark. Lodolo is 46% ground balls. Like that matters in that park.
Yeah, it does. It does a lot. So I like that. I like both him and Ryan. And so the way I've been structuring my team a lot lately is going like 7 hitters, 3 pitchers, or 6 and 4, and waiting on that second and third starter. And these guys are in that range a lot. So I found like I've been drafting Ryan frequently.
Yeah. I like that strategy too. There's a lot of guys in that range that I do like too, like 100 to like 100 to 180. There's a ton of pitchers I like in there that I think if I can get 2 starters in the first like 8 or 9 rounds, I think I can really work with it. But if I'm going to go early and not super early, which I think I'm going to, I think I'm probably going to end up, unless I end up with like a Cole or Burns at the point where it works, I think I kind of skip a lot of those pitchers. I really like Max Fried ADP is 73, but 68 in the DC. So that's what, middle of the 5th round? Am I doing that right? Yeah, middle of the 5th round. I love that price. I will take that all day in the middle of the 5th round. Great 2022. The strikeouts were only okay, but I like the fact that there's a couple of things that make me think maybe the strikeouts go up a little bit. Swing strike rate was 12%. Chase rate was 91st percentile. So there's a couple of things there that I think the strikeouts might tick up a little bit. A little bit of fortune in home run avoidance. That probably bounced back a little bit, but the BABIP was it wasn't too crazy. It's 280, so I don't think that moves very much. Really good avoiding hard contact, 4% barrel rate, 32% hard hit. You look at StatCast page, a ton of red except for the K rate. That's about middling. It's 51st percentile, but everything else is really good. The curveball is nasty, 40% whiff rate in that pitch. He used that 20% of the time. He ramped up his changeup a lot, which I like. He was like 2% in 2021, 14% usage in 2022, 37% whiff rate there. I think he's a little mispriced. I'm fine with him in the 4th round, and if I get him in the 5th round, I love it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pitchers in that range that I like and it's top 100. Like I like Manoah, I like Darvish there. But yeah, so I like Framber there a lot too. I mean, it's a pretty good range to shop in.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with getting 2 of those guys and making my 1-2 and getting a bunch of offense first is kind of the way I'm leaning at the moment. Obviously, draft, in being flexible in draft is important, but if I think of how it's probably going to go and pitchers probably get pushed up a little bit, I think I probably end up waiting the first 3 rounds and probably waiting for this group in here.
Okay, fair enough.
So the cover boy who you thought was Brendan Lau, I believe was actually Drew Rasmussen, who I'm going to talk about now. I
like him a lot.
I don't know because I didn't put the picture up, but I think it was Drew Rasmussen. I like him a lot. ADP is 170 right now in DCs over the last couple weeks. So he's not unpopular. It's 160 actually in DC. So a little bit lower than it is overall in drafts. Strong 2022 after a good 2021, 146 innings, really good ratios. The K rate fell a little bit, but the swing strike rate rose. So I think the K is going to come back a little bit, 12.1% there. Nice ground ball tilt. I love the strikeouts, plus the ground ball, 47% there. You keep yourself out of getting in big trouble. A little too much hard contact, but he's pretty good avoiding barrels. Makes sense. A lot of hard ground balls right there. He added a new cutter, used it 30% of the time, got a 30% whiff rate on that. He threw his sweeper more. Drink every time you hear someone say sweeper this offseason. But 23% usage there, 28% whiff rate on that pitch. So 2 really good pitches with the cutter and the sweeper. It's the Rays, so how deep he goes into games is always an issue. But he's after the first break. Like coming out of the first break, just give me 11th round Drew Rasmussen. We'll call it a day.
I like Rasmussen, even though I struggle to pronounce his name.
You're gonna say you like Springs too?
I was just gonna say I like his friend Jeffrey Springs quite a bit. 13.9% swinging strike rate, despite becoming a starter for the first time. The year before he had 0 starts. He had a 16% swinging strike percentage. K rate was still 26% as a starter. Walk rate 5.6%.
Dropped it from it.
You like that?
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, give me both of those guys.
Wow, look at you dropping some Kirk Cousins on the podcast. That was nice.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I strive to make a reference you get every once in a while.
Yeah, well, that's because it's not from 1963.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, league winner Kelly Ugansky in the chat. I like seeing him.
I'm telling you, sweeper's the drinking game this year. It's like sweep. If you go sweeper and drive line, you will not go sober through swing training.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Or a live event draft, I think. But
do you have an after 200 starter that you find yourself really liking?
I think Hunter Brown's still after 200.
I don't know if he will be for long, but I think he still is. Yes.
Yeah.
Pick 2. I got 204 in DCs, but yeah. So after 200, that'll work then.
Yeah, but but hey, we strive to deliver here something. There are plenty of starters we're going to have to get after 200.
Yes.
So let's dig a little here. Because I think I will take some chances on Trevor Rogers.
Okay, you're on an island on that one in the podcast.
You just too scarred, huh?
I think I might be too scarred. I think I'm too scarred.
Yeah, he says his command's better than ever. So
I heard that about 17,000 times last year.
I don't mind Justin Steele for the price.
Good name too.
Yeah. Sean Manaea added velocity. Are you in, Scott?
I'm not in.
No.
Unless it looks like he's throwing 95 on the last spring training, maybe I'll be coerced a little bit, but I don't think I'm in.
I don't mind the Carrasco price or the Savali price. The team context helps on both of those guys.
Love Carrasco at the price. I just think he's solid and good in there. Not going to be great.
Exactly.
Not going to be. Don't expect the old Carlos Carrasco, but he's like pick 290. I love that all day.
Yeah, Ross Stripling's fine at 295.
I like that one too. He pitched today.
Yep. Brian Bayo in the 300s. I like him, even though he's a little banged up right now. I know you're not supposed to be big on injury optimism, but I think he'll be back
late
in
enough
time.
where if he has a setback, you just drop him and it doesn't hurt you too much.
Exactly.
You want a couple other late names I like?
I would. This is what I pay for here.
One I really like, and his season almost ended yesterday. His quote is Alex Cobb in San Francisco. He got hit by a comebacker. He said he was in so much pain initially. He thought his season was over. Turned out to be fine, just as a bruise. But I really like this profile. ADP is about 230. He's moving up though. He's like 220 in DCs. I talked about him when on the FTN podcast. We talked about late pitchers, but through his most innings since 2018, he threw 150 innings. 3.7 ERA, but the 1.3 whip was a little bit high. But you look at it, it could have been a lot better. BABIP was 337. His left on base percentage was 68 percentile, like really, really low. Swinging strike rate fell a bit, but I just like it. His FIP was under 3. Elite ground ball guy. He was at 61% ground balls last year. Really good place to pitch. His velocity actually went up. We see so many guys, as a career goes on, that the velocity goes down. His went up. Someone in the podcast in the chat commented San Francisco defense is atrocious. That is a problem. The Giants defense needs to be better if he's going to be good because a lot of ground balls, but 96 percentile avoiding barrel rates. I just think he's a big target for me at pick 220, whatever that is. I think he's going to be really solid with a chance to be really, really, really good too.
Fred and I may have mentioned Cobb's name 700 times on the Tuesday podcast.
There you go.
So yes, mostly Fred. So yeah, I am.
If I'm on the same page as Fred ever, I love it.
Yeah. All up on his lack of luck last year.
I like Reed Detmers down here a little bit. I think he became a different pitcher last year when he came back with the new slider, went down in the minors. I do like him. I think there's a couple of troubling trends on Sonny Gray, some stuff going the wrong way, but at pick 225 or whatever he's at, I think that he is someone that will not hurt you and has a little bit of a chance to help you there. So I do think he's fine there. I like your old friend Tyler Mahle in like the mid 250s. Great fastball. He's everything sounds healthy. The shoulder sounds good. So I do like that one there. As I'm dropping way deeper, Hayden Wesneski, unfortunately, was like perfect today or yesterday in 4 innings. So maybe
I have him in so many places, Scott.
Yeah, he had three check swing strikeouts in the same inning. Everybody's excited about. So I didn't love to see that. I think if you need a late pitcher, Domingo Herman in the mid 400s, just if you need wins, like I just think you see me start for the Yankees. The Yankees are.
I think that price goes way up.
Has to. Yeah. I mean, the Yankees are a mess injury-wise. Lost Montas for the year. Cortez was banged up and then back, and then you obviously got Carlos Rodon now. And someone else get hurt there. Harrison Bader got hurt, but he's obviously not a pitcher. Yeah. But Brandon Pfaadt, if he makes the team in Arizona, is going to be a stud. His profile is nasty. He is really. I looked at him a bunch when I did the other podcast. We're talking late pitchers. He looks really, really. I don't know if he's going to make the team. But he's 24. It's not like he's Andrew Painter, 19 years old. I mean, he was 32% strikeout rate last year, Jeff, with a 4% walk rate.
A lot of Arizona optimism right now, and I'm on board for that. So you mentioned Wesneski and Pfaadt. I got both of them in the deep, super deep 24 team 35 round score sheet draft that I'm in.
Nice.
Which is so it doesn't matter about chasing wins. It's just you're trying to find good pitchers, and I like both of them a lot. Yeah, a lot of Arizona optimism and San Francisco pessimism right now.
That doesn't break my heart.
No, it's almost like so copious that I'm a little worried. It's kind of like reacting to like the Bears trading their first round pick to Carolina. Everybody thinks the Bears did well. I'm like, I do too, and that was my immediate visceral reaction. I almost want to fade conventional wisdom. So, but
you better really like someone to pick one to make that trade, right?
Exactly.
But if it works, you got a quarterback on a rookie contract for a long time. I don't know if he had a throw to, but that's a
Sometimes you get the Trey Lance deal though too, and hey, that still might work.
Jeff, shots fired late at night here. That was just mean. You couldn't have gone with Zach Wilson.
I could have, but
at least we know Zach.
They didn't trade for that pick though, did they?
They did not trade for that pick. Yeah.
So you could have said the Mitchell Trubisky trade.
That's true.
That would have been bad.
Or you could have just taken Solomon Thomas ahead of Patrick Mahomes and called it a day. If you're a 49ers fan.
You can just fire an Achilles Smith at me, and I'll go back in my hole.
Yeah, but you have a freaking franchise elite quarterback now, so you can't. You got it good.
I do.
Before we get out of here, relief pitcher. I weirdly am having trouble finding relief pitchers as target. I kind of think most of them are at their right range. I have a couple names that I like here, but I feel like they're all pretty well priced. I looked at DC's.
Always are.
I looked at DC's because cut line kind of ruins the ADP on the NFBC because people have to take a closer at all. So I looked at DC's. What
DC's also ruin it though because you can't pick anybody up.
Yeah, you can't pick anybody up.
You should go RotoWire Online Championship. Really.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's a fair point.
I'm going to do that right now.
I'm going to do the same. So who
I'm
do
gonna
you
do it
find
faster.
yourself liking? I don't know if I don't know if late at receiver works, but who you like among the? Do you like someone you really like at the top guys, or someone you're really attacking? I feel like it's Ryan Presley for you, but I'm just guessing based on.
I
prior
like
comments.
Presley, but I like Iglesias. I like Hader there at the price. Here's the thing I'm finding though, Scott, is like there's a cutoff point. I think it's like after Presley that I stopped liking anybody for a while. Like I don't like Helsley for the price. Bautista, I love the skills, but he's not pitching yet.
Yeah.
I mean, do you really want to take that early? I don't like Duvall for the price. We talked about that last week.
Yeah,
I'm worried about
his price.
Finley
You
a
look at
little
an
bit.
online championship. His price is 88. I think we talked a couple weeks on the fade podcast. He was like in the hundreds, and 88 is. I'm not doing it.
There's always this scary point where you don't want to get shut out of closers.
Yep.
Kenley Jansen, I'm a little worried about the pitch clock with him and just father time.
Yeah.
Time catching up to him multiple ways. Clay Holmes, I don't know if he's fully got the job yet.
Do you trust David Bell at all? I know you're going to answer no to this, but Alexis Diaz is
I have to answer that?
Alexis Diaz has pretty good stuff.
So the point in favor of Diaz is Bell for the first time ever admitted that Diaz is his closer. But the point is, I wrote the note on it. It's like he admitted. He wasn't like, yes, he's our closer. It's like, I don't like to name a closer, but he's our closer. Yeah. So if anybody shows any sign of competence,
he walks 4 guys in the first 2 outings. Who knows what happens with that? You see him strike out Altuve today, though?
I did not.
It was nice. He gassed Altuve with a high fastball.
I bet you thoroughly enjoyed that.
I did thoroughly enjoy that. That's my dude, Alexis Diaz, right there.
What do you think about Bednar?
That's my guy. If I get shut out in the first group, I really don't want to get shut out in the first group, but if something happens and I do, I just think Bednar's a really good pitcher. A little too much hard contact, but the strikeouts are huge. Nasty curveball. The fastball is a 32% whiff rate. You don't see that on a fastball very often. ADP is kind of around 100 right now, something in there in most leagues. I think he's a guy. If I get shut out, I just take him. I know the team is bad, but bad teams get saves. There's a risk he gets traded, but we're talking 4 months in, and maybe he gets traded to a team that has him closed too. I love Iglesias. I think the most at the price. If I miss, I love Clase. That'd probably be the guy I'd really love to get, but he goes so early. I think Iglesias, and he's going to move up. I think he's probably a late 3rd rounder guy in main events, but if I can get him late 3rd, early 4th, he'd be my guy. Just take and then not worry about closers for a while.
For sure, I could see that there. I'm finding myself landing on Scott Barlow when I missed out on the top tier. Then I'll take. Just like I did in the main last year, I'll take Barlow in the 8th or 9th, and then I'll try to figure it out after that. The problem that I
feel like it's been a year and we don't really know if that did work though, right?
Yeah, it did.
20,
I didn't get
24 saves with great ratios. That
and
worked.
some wins too. He got some wins more than your average closer.
He had 7 wins. You're right.
And I'm not really that worried about Aroldis. Maybe I should be, but I'm not. But then again, we got a new manager. We don't even really know the tendencies here. That's one thing that is a little scary, a little bit there. Oh, geez. Austin Barnes looks like he got hurt. Nope, he's fine. I thought he got hurt going after that.
Austin Barnes plays for Mexico?
He does. I don't understand that.
I did not know that. I assumed he was the U.S. backup catcher until you said that. Any Jose Leclerc love? I hate the walks.
I hate the walks. I hate the neck injury. I hate the fact that they felt compelled to go get Will Smith, although, it's just another arm too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate Leclerc. I'm not eager to go get him at the same time. There's a lot of the high skills, not sure about the job guys, and their price keeps on going up. We talked about how Fairbanks ADP keeps on getting higher and higher.
I'm gonna probably end up taking a lot of Evan Phillips and hope I get some of it right.
Yeah, he's the cheap version of Munoz, Duran, and Fairbanks.
Yeah, his ADP in the online championship is 215. It will not be that high in the main event because 15 teamer people, you get so many teams are shut out. But I know he's going to. I mean, as long as he's healthy, I know he's going to be good, and I just hope he gets 22 saves or 18 that I can piece together. But you obviously want to be your second guy. I think if I get a top guy, I go with Phillips as my 2, and then pick someone late and kind of just hold my breath and do a little work in fab. But I really want to get an anchor. I think it gets really complicated if you don't have an anchor.
Yeah. What about the cheap closers? And some of them haven't even been named. We saw some chatter in the comments about Estevez, and he's having just a horrific spring, but it's also like 4 outings. I don't know if I would judge anything on that. But Alex Lange, I don't think he's been named. Is it Lange or Lang, or how is it pronounced?
I go Lang, but it's probably going to be like Longy or something like that. But I go Lang.
Yeah. Okay. Lang, we'll say, is in the same range as Phillips. I go Phillips over him, by the way. But Lang, Finnegan, the Angels closer, cheap. We don't know what the Dodgers or Phillies are going to have as their closer right now.
Yep.
Two very good teams. Got a ascendant team in Arizona, which has even less definition at closer.
Like zero. Like there's I think last time like Rochester Resource had like 7 guys as the closer because they just had no idea. There's nobody even like, oh well, even if he gets, there's nobody you really want in that bullpen at all. Like I don't want Melanson. There's nobody even like really speculating on it. It's a really weird situation.
It is. It's like whoever, and we have Torey Lovullo, who never tells us who's going to close anyhow. So that's the other.
They're down to 5 closes on Roster Resource now.
Yeah. Torey Lovullo is like the discount version of Gabe Kapler in terms of managers I don't trust.
Yeah, I don't either. In that group, I think I'm willing to take a little bit of a shot on Finnegan. Bad team, but he's clearly the guy.
Yeah.
And he improved last year. Strikeout rate went up 3%. Walk rate went down 3%. Swing strike rate went up 2%. Like he's 3.51, 1.14. Like just give me a repeat of that and be the closer all year. And I think that works really well. If I get stuck and I need a late guy, Finnegan's my guy of that group that I hold my breath and take, knowing the team is horrendous.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But a horrendous team wins 60 games, right?
Yeah, and the Angels, you have the Phil Nevin factor. I don't like what he did to me last year. So I've been hurt before.
Still some Jimmy Herget bad memories.
Yeah, I did. I will draft Herget. I think he's a very good pitcher. I think he's the best pitcher in that bullpen. Doesn't mean he's going to get the job, but
I guess it's Carlos Estevez. I don't really get excited by that, but.
There was a weird quote from the GM saying they signed him in the hopes that he could close, but he'll leave that decision in Phil Nevin's hands. Great.
Matt Moore had a 1.90 ERA last year.
He did indeed. And what did he have before that?
6.3.
Yeah.
As a starter though, but the walks and more scare that. And even was a starter, they scared the hell out of me. He has 12.5% walk rate last year. He was a huge swinging strike rate guy, but man, there's a lot of walks that as a lefty closer, like you walk a guy, they're going to come in and get a righty. I don't see it working where he's like the guy. Maybe he gets some off saves where they're facing 2 out of 3 lefties. And I think he might be fine as a pitcher, but I tell you what, you talk about it, you really got to get someone in the top 8 to 10 closers in a 15 teamer. It's hard to do. Not everybody can do it, but
that, or just be prepared to go without and go discount. I mean, it is a path. There's
a path,
and it would have worked if it weren't for those meddling Nevins later on for me. I mean, I still got third in my league despite all those shenanigans. But had I not chased, or if I just left Herget on the roster the whole time or something, it would have been nice. Instead of chasing the Ian Kennedys of the world. Don't Ian Kennedy. That's just the lesson here.
Oh, never Ian Kennedy.
Never Ian Kennedy.
That is just not a good way to go. Any other thoughts on closers? Any like closers and waiting you really like? Anybody that I don't really see a ton that gets me too excited?
No, I mean, Herget is one I really like. I think he's a good pitcher. Gallegos is cheap enough that I think if you're choosing to fade, if you're going to fade Helsley, consider Gallegos. If you're going to fade Doval, consider Rogers a little bit. I should specify Taylor, not Tyler, but
yes. It's funny you said that. I was looking at who my closers were on my main team that was well. I didn't have a second closer. I went Ryan Presley, and then I had Paul Sewald was my second guy. So kind of a 2/3 closer there for a while. I had Tanner Rainey in the draft. I had Emilio Pagan for 7 saves. Nick Martinez for 2 saves. That was a real gem right there. I pitched 2 innings that week, got me 2 saves. That somehow worked. ERA of 7. I only had 1 closer last year.
What about Jason Adam? I've seen his name mentioned a couple times in the chat. If
really good pitcher.
Yeah, if you're going to fade Fairbanks, Adam's the next pivot, but then you're going full raise.
Although if I'm fading Fairbanks, just because I think everybody's going to get saves, so I don't think it's going to be like, oh no, Fairbanks are going to settle on one other guy. I think it's no Fairbanks because they're going to settle on 5 guys.
But I think but Adam's a nice pivot if you want it like week 1. You're struggling to find a starter for that week, or another week where you don't want to stream that week. You can just slot him in and at least get ratios, and maybe he'll stumble on a win or a save. But again, you're trying to time the market there, and when you get 2 innings and no counting stats, it's kind of crappy.
Our friend Anthony Gialdi, who will be seeing in Vegas, just gave me some anxiety. He said 2 weeks until the first fab period of the year.
Don't do that. Don't do that to us, man.
Seriously, we gotta get through drafts first. They're funny though. Anybody else you want to talk about, Jeff? I feel like we hit a lot of targets and guys we're going to get, but anything else that's on your mind before we jump out of here? How do you feel about Northwestern in round 1 against the Boise State Broncos?
I'm major nervous. We're actually underdogs, even though we're a higher seed.
That's good though. You like that. You like to be underdogs. That way you can just go the nobody believes in us route, and you can't go wrong there.
Boise's pretty solid. Boise's really if you look at their resume, I mean, the problem for them is they can't get major conferences to play them, right? And that's the truth with all mid majors. And so you don't really know. But they struggled with Utah State, but they beat San Diego State. I mean, that's a good win that they got there. You look throughout their resume, their very first game was a bad loss, and after that, they didn't have a bad loss all year. So yeah, I think that's going to be fun. I mean, Ken Palm's got them as 31 and Northwestern 42. So Ken Palm actually has them favored as well. So, but hey, it's not a terrible draw. And even UCLA is the 5 seed overall, but they have 2 major injuries right now too. So if we do get by Boise, then we face UCLA, and it might be an injured UCLA. So one player, Clark, out for the year, and then the other guy that I forget his name, but he got hurt on Friday, if I recall correctly. So that could be an issue as well.
I have to admit, I don't know any basketball players that went to Boise State. I could give you a lot of football players, but I don't know any famous basketball players that went there.
I don't either. But I'm going. It's psyched. I'm psyched.
Oh, that's right. Where the game's in Sacramento?
It's the only location that I could have made this work, because I'm leaving for Tout Wars on Friday morning at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. flight to New York. So I'm flying into Sacramento and then flying back from Sacramento. So I'm going to be a tired puppy on Friday. I will not be going out for St. Patty's Day on Friday night. But
if you win, they have already got the purple beam to light up at Arco Arena. Or I guess not Arco Arena anymore, whatever the stadium is for the Kings. Have you seen the purple beam?
I know of it. I haven't actually seen it.
It's already ready for you. You got the same colors and you're ready to go.
Yeah, it's built-in advantage.
It's beautiful. I love the Kings team right now. I put a bet on them to win the West in the NBA. They're still 25-1.
Well, yeah, no one wants to believe in them, but they're the 2 seed now. They passed up. They passed up. Who did they pass up?
Your friend John Morant, your partying partner.
Yeah.
You guys go out a lot when you're hanging out in Denver.
Yeah, right. Things to do in Denver when you're dead.
Right, but it's not. I shouldn't joke, but it's rough in Memphis right now.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for listening to the RotoWire Fantasy Baseball Podcast. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. You are going to be out next week. Is that correct?
Correct. I'll be in New York, Tout Wars weekend, and then
beautiful.
And you've got a better co-host next week, so that's good.
Our friend Batflip Casey Toby is going to be on the show. We'll be talking a lot of drafts as we'll be getting a few days before headed to Vegas. So a lot of the big drafts are heating up. So we'll have a lot of I think we're going to do a lot of gut check week draft strategy. What are you doing with closers and stolen bases, and what are you doing if you get behind in categories? Kind of catching up back half of the draft where you attack certain categories you're behind in. So kind of a bunch of last minute draft tips that hopefully will help people out for the final stretch here.
What happens when you get stuck next to Toby in a draft and he's better than you? Wait, that already happened to me last year.
He beat you last year in that Vegas draft?
He was second, I was third. Yep. And Maddie Davis won the league.
Oh, that's a fun little top 3 at least.
Yeah, it was, especially because Posma passed me in one main for second to third, but I passed him for third in the other one, so that was pretty nice.
Beautiful. I love it. I can't wait to get out there. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people in Vegas. It sounds like there's like 115 people drafting on that Saturday morning already. So we got however there's 8 full leagues or something like that. It's going to be a wild fun room. I think it's going to be the biggest year we've had in a while, at least since before COVID.
Yeah. And I'm doing 3 mains. I'm super excited. I'm doing Saturday in Vegas, then Monday night, and then Wednesday night.
Are you partnering with mutual friend Tim Schuler on all those?
Yeah. On Monday, I think I'll be solo drafting, but Tim and I are going to run the team together.
Awesome. That'd be great. I love Tim as a human. He's great.
He is a good, strong
human
being.
We're playing some golf out there too. It's going to be a good trip.
Maybe watching some hoops, and at the same time, it'll be a fun time.
That'd be great. So anyway, appreciate everybody listening. Again, if you rate review the podcast, we do appreciate that. If you want to follow Jeff on Twitter, he is at Jeff_Erickson. I am at Scott Jenstad. We'll be back next Sunday. Me and Batflip Casey Toby will be out there. Hey to Clark Olson. Look forward to seeing you in Vegas also. Mentioned in the chat. Clark is a really good dude. Drafts football and baseball very, very well. But looking forward to seeing everybody out there. Looking forward to talking to everybody next Sunday. Then Jeff will be back with me the Sunday after reviewing NFBC main event in Las Vegas. That'll be a lot of fun too. So hope everyone has a good week. Enjoy all your drafts. We're back at you next Sunday. Take care.